So I watched this Dillian Whyte interview. It's the first one he's done for quite a while. And the part that interested me the most was the bit where he was talking about the Fury fight again. Now, in the immediate aftermath of the Fury fight, Dillian Whyte claimed that Fury hit him with a shot, buzzed him, and then shoved him over. And when he fell, he hit his head on the canvas. And that's why he was so hurt when he got to his feet. But upon watching the instant replay, the slow mo, many people pointed out that his head doesn't actually hit the canvas. So that narrative is not going to work. But now, in this interview, Dillian Whyte is saying that, yeah, Fury hit him with a shot, buzzed him, then shoved him over, and he sprained his ankle, or whatever it was, tore his ankle, or something like that. And I guess he's insinuating that that's the reason that he was a bit wobbly when he got to his feet. This is dangerously close to Deontay Wilder level excuse making. It's not that bad, it's not that crazy, it's not that out there, but it's veering in that direction. And we don't like that. And don't get it twisted, I get it, I understand that fighters like Dillian Whyte are insufferable optimists. No matter what happens in his life, no matter what happens in his career, he always finds a way to put a positive spin on it for himself. In the sense that rather than just say to himself, I'm not good enough, he finds something in his head to latch onto, some type of psychological crutch whereby he can build his confidence off the back of it again. You see what I'm saying? Many fighters do this, and it isn't necessarily a bad thing. In fact, in many instances, it's a good thing because that is why they're able to come back. That's why they're able to build their confidence back up again when most other people couldn't. You see what I'm saying? But eventually, it can become detrimental because it is a double edged sword. There's a thin line between self belief and outright delusion. And what Dillian Whyte is saying here with regards to the narrative he's trying to push with the Fury knockout defeat, that, in my view, that's delusion. The shot that Fury caught him with finished Dillian Whyte. A light breeze would have blown him over at that stage, in my view. So Fury pushing him the way that he did was neither here nor there. And I think it was just kind of a reflexive thing. I know Fury's a very, very big man. And a man that size, particularly when you're squared up, he doesn't need to put that much effort into shoving you, in order for you to go back several steps or fall over. But based upon what I saw in that instant replay, it didn't appear to be the hardest shove in the world. It's not the way Dillian Whyte was making it out to be. Like it was some WWE shove. It wasn't like that. So, yeah, I don't buy Dylan's narrative just looking at it objectively. I think that Dylan's punch resistance is at an all-time low, and I don't see how that's going to get any better. I can only imagine it will get worse from here on in. So, take that how you want to take that. I think that the Daniel Dubois fight is an understandable direction for Dillian Whyte to go in because it is a world title of sorts. So I guess that risk is worth taking. It's a very dangerous fight for a guy whose punch resistance appears to be as short as Dylan's. But Dylan's still got power. Perhaps he's still got, the reflexes and what have you to land his big counters, that big left hook, the jab that he's got. Daniel Dubois is a lot more similar in height to Dillian Whyte. I guess similar in reach as well than was the case with Tyson Fury. So, yeah, I can understand him going there. And even the Derek Chisora fight, the trilogy with Chisora, that could be a good fight for him. But in terms of him facing off against, the Tyson Furies again, certainly, or many of the other big boys, Hergovich, these guys in the division, no. Even someone like Alexander Usyk, although he's not the biggest puncher in the world, no. I don't think Dillian Whyte should go there if he values his health. But Dillian Whyte is a warrior. That's one thing I can say I agree with that he said in this interview. He is definitely a warrior. I mean, he's a very, very brave man. And it's at the stage now where you're kind of concerned, just from a empathetic level, you're kind of concerned about Dillian Whyte's health. Do you know what I mean? Because of the fact that this guy is too brave for his own good. So you're thinking, man, someone might need to make an intervention here. But there are lots of fighters like that over the years. I mean, Danny Williams is still fighting. Danny Williams, how old is he now? Like nearly 50? One of the things he said actually with the Tyson Fury defeat is that he wasn't aggressive enough. Personally, I don't think he could have done anything much different, to be honest. I think that he tried to box his way in for the first few rounds. That didn't work. Then he switched it up and tried to just march forward behind a high guard, and he was squared up, and that's why he got knocked out. I think that if he'd applied pressure, in that kind of way from early on in the fight, he would have got knocked out earlier. So I don't see what Dillian Whyte could have done differently to get a better outcome for himself. I think he was doomed no matter what. The only radically different thing he could do would be to stay on the outside, maybe back up and try and walk Tyson Fury onto him. But I think Fury, based upon what we saw there, was too cute for that. He wasn't going to take that bait. Fury was a lot more careful with Dillian Whyte than he was with Deontay Wilder in the second and third fights because of that counterpunching ability that Whyte's got. So yeah, I just don't see that Dillian Whyte could have really done anything to beat Tyson Fury based upon the way Fury boxed. So that's my take. As far as what Dillian Whyte said about AJ, yeah, he said that he wasn't aggressive enough in the first Usyk fight, and he compared it to his fight against Tyson Fury. And he said he kind of got away from the old school mentality where he would go in there and just take it to people. Again, I don't really think that would have resulted in a better outcome for him. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below.